The wild world of Avengers No Road Home continues as Clint Barton goes toe-to-toe with the Hulk. What's up, everybody? I'm Stan, and welcome to Detail Comics, where we go over comics in detail. This is an irate review, the show where I go over a comic book, its story, its art, give you my impressions, and let you know whether it's something you need to go back to the comic book shop for or not. Make sure you subscribe to get more of these every single week. The book that I want to talk about right now is Avengers No Road Home number 3, written by Jim Zub, Mark Waid, and Al Ewing, with art by Paco Medina, and with issue number 2 giving us the insinuation that some of these different pieces of Nyx'S soul, these various shards, are hidden in other dimensions with allies, enemies, and far-off paradises. I think we're going to dive into the dreamland and see what kind of nightmares Clint Barton, the Immortal Hulk, Rocket Raccoon, and others can conjure up. So far, Avengers No Road Home has taken the light from the skies itself, reunited the Avengers, and killed the gods of Olympus. But now we're going to take a journey into someplace very different. And as issue number 3 opens up, we see Rocket Raccoon back at his genesis, back at his creation, with these robots cutting into him with lasers, trying to create some sort of subject, a warden that could keep watch over their halls. And Rocket is having none of this, having lived through it already once before. The surgical laser just swipes through these robots as he tries to make his escape, and we see him in his classical costume from his original introduction inside the Incredible Hulk. We actually come across the Immortal Hulk as he holds Clint Barton in his hands, and this is where we get the idea that they're not in Kansas anymore. And this is something that I mentioned actually in issue number 2, the video for that one, that this is most likely the land of nightmares, where they're dealing with this kind of dark entity, and they're trying to find the last shard, or one of the shards of Nyx'S soul. So Hulk is very well aware of where they're at. Clint Barton hasn't made the realization, and Rocket is starting to come to that idea. And because Hulk in himself is a nightmare of Bruce Banner, a different kind of portrayal of his inner psyche, something along those lines, he doesn't even need to physically abuse Clint Barton to kill him. He just has to wait him out. The time is going to take him on his own. But Hulk is still going to be there. He's still going to be immortal, alive and vibrant, ready and waiting. But inside this fake hospital, he doesn't really need to help him out. And Clint's just like, wait a minute, wait a minute. Fake hospital? It's like, yeah, man, count your fingers. You've got all 5 fingers. You're just having a nightmare. And that's when Nightmare makes his appearance, alerting these 3 that they are, in fact, inside the realm of nightmares. But those aren't the only folks that are headed to a different kind of location. We see Spectrum, Vision, Wanda, and Hercules making their way into what can only be described as, well, Omnipotence City, the home and the nexus of the gods, where all kinds of different pieces of knowledge have been shared, and it's just where everybody from all the divinities around the Marvel Universe can congregate and do a variety of different things. We've actually seen this before inside the Mighty Thor when Jane Foster made a visit during her war with the Shi'ar gods as well. And as Hercules kinds of explains these things, we find that Wanda is not actually blind. She can see this dark pulsation of energy coming from the forefront. But we bounce back over to the Nightmare realm where we get Nightmare's explanation of exactly what's going on. It was eons ago, millennia, when Zeus entrusted part of the shard of Nyx'S soul to Nightmare, and to put it in his realm so that way it could never be reunited with the actual goddess herself. And for centuries, for thousands of years, that is the way that it has been kept inside Nightmare's fortress. At least that was until one of her sons, Hypnos, came with the sleepless legions that he's hypnotized and started battering down at Nightmare's fortress. And while the fortress is a metaphor, everything in the realm of dreams and nightmares is a metaphor, he will not beg for the help, but he needs this kind of assistance. And Rocket is just like, yo, you just stole my time from me, you just forced me into a nightmare, you tried to torture me, you want my help? Pay me. And Hulk is like, yeah, pay me too. And he's the only one. Rocket gets this sense that Hulk is really the only person that knows where he is, where he wants to be, and how he can benefit from it. He used to be a dumb Hulk when Rocket first met him, but this is not the same guy. While meanwhile, inside Omnipotence City, we actually see Hercules, as well as the rest of this Avengers group, inside the halls of All-Knowing, where the Lord High Librarian is like, what the hell are you guys doing here? And in reality, they're looking for all these different things. He already knows all about the shard and everything like that. It's a hall of All-Knowing. If he didn't know everything, then what the hell good would this hall be? But Wanda, using this newfound sight of darkness, she actually locates the shard of Nyx'S soul, and it seems to be wrapped around the librarian's neck as some sort of necklace, and just in time for Apate and Dolos to make their appearance. Dolos has the ability to create this kind of fog that corrupts the senses, turning your own vision, your own sight, your own sense of smell, everything against you. And Apate has a specific kind of talent as well. that for lies, as she throws these daggers that go through everybody's body into Hercules and imbue him with the idea that the Avengers have failed to defend Olympus, and the only way that he can achieve kind of retribution is to kill them all. And that's where we're going to end issue number 3 of Avengers No Road Home. And continuing this kind of weekly maxi series that's going to have 10 issues that concludes and continues the No Surrender storyline, I'm getting continuously excited about what goes on. While it was a little bit easy to predict that we were going to get Clint Barton and Hulk and Rocket Raccoon inside the realm of nightmares just from the context that was being provided, this kind of introduction to this paradise land, which is Omnipotence City or whatever the hell they want to call it, is actually kind of a cool idea, this paradise that's outside of their realm of possibility. His great ally, though, the great ally of Zeus, is one that we still have yet to see, and there are a number of different people that haven't had the opportunity to make their way to that different part of the realm. As we take a look at the actual roles of the Immortal Hulk, Clint Barton, and Rocket Raccoon, Immortal Hulk and Rocket Raccoon stand out as some of the best characters inside this series so far. It seems that Al Ewing and Jim Zub and Mark Waid have a real joy in writing those characters and how they're interacting, and Immortal Hulk is the person that you really need to be paying attention to. He's the one that's got all the ideas and knows exactly what's going on. Hercules, while being a really good, relatable character, doesn't necessarily have the kind of depth and as far as intelligence is concerned when it comes to the writing of this, so he seems to be kind of like a plot-based character, and then the developments between Vision and Wanda and a variety of other things seem to be taking the characters in a variety of different directions, but it's easy to see that Vision might be the one that ends up, well, not surviving this trip because his systems are already deteriorating at issue number 3, and it was a key point of issue number 1. But as we get the art from Paco Medina, the continuous rendering of the characters are just fantastic. I hate to see him not complete all 10 issues because it would really be a good showcase for him as a artist, but just due to the nature of having 10 issues that he needs to work on, it's not a surprise that we're going to get a few issues where he's not actually the main artist. But overall, I think his compositions are really well done. Some of the action scenes are pretty fantastic, and again, the way that he draws the Immortal Hulk as well as a number of the other characters, including Rocket Raccoon, are just really stellar. Avengers No Road Home continues to be a standout part of the Marvel lineup, even though it's a maxi series and doesn't really deal with a lot of current continuity, but it's one that I continue to recommend for all kinds of comic readers. But I want to know what you guys think too, so hit me up in the comments down below and we can start that conversation. As always, if you like what you see, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to get more news, reviews, and commentary on comic books, comic book movies, comic book TV shows and games, and anything and everything inside the world of comics.